Being in college for a long time, I couldn't understand why people love driving around the Honda City. Of course, that was still the previous generation Honda City. But the new one right here is something that finally made me realize why people do it. This one right here is the all-new Honda City in this top-of-the-line trim RS. Today I'm going to show you around this car and I'm also going to give it a test ride, so stay tuned. Styling wise, the Honda City RS is very dynamic. It is very similar to a shrunk down Honda Civic, sharing the same hard lines and creases on this one, making it look incredibly sharp. This piano black trim with an RS badge right there, and I'm also especially loving the honeycomb pattern on this grille right here and also down below. You get full carbon fiber chin as well for extra sportiness, then full LED headlights as well as DRLs. One thing about the headlights though is that they have this crystal-like structure and it looks really good. Towards the side of the Honda City RS, and you will see a lot of lines on this one. So one powerful line down below and an even more powerful character line here just above the door handles. Speaking of those door handles though, you have that black button right there, but that's only for locking. The unlock is, well, it's smart unlock, so you just tap over here with your hand. Now the rest of the car, unfortunately, it does get the bloating effect that a lot of subcompact sedans have, especially if they're a bit on the shorter side. So yes, the side of the car, the profile does bloat a little bit, but that is made up for by just how nice your rims are with these 16-inch RS design rims. You also get piano black and repeaters on your side mirror. One rather odd thing with the City though is because of that aforementioned bloating effect and this kind of flared looking fenders, the wheels at the back do look like it's a bit odd in terms of offset, so it's a little bit pushed in towards the car, so some spacers would probably make this look a little bit better than it is. At the back of the Honda City RS is your obligatory RS badge, this small high gloss piano black wing, and also that antenna up top. City badge and also a reverse camera. Then you also get a faux carbon fiber diffuser and reflectors towards the bottom. Your taillights very sleek looking as well, LEDs too. And if you open up your trunk, you're looking at 519 liters of space, one of the best in its class. And not only that, but Honda also gave you a really nice shape. It's very square and the inside part is also pretty high. Then you have a false floor which does contain your space saver spare tire. Powering the Honda City RS is this 1.5 liter inline-4 naturally aspirated gasoline engine, making 121 horsepower and 145 newton meters of torque, making it easily the best in its class. This is also mated to a CVT transmission. And fun fact, this actually uses the same type of engine, the same block as what you would get with the previous generation Honda Civic RS, but that one comes with a turbo. So if you slap on a turbo in this one, the sky's the limit. Here inside the Honda City RS, you check the door thud, and it sounds just about alright. Now the interior of the City RS is just as sporty as the outside. Instead of going for the premium feeling full leather seats, they give you a mixture of leather and suede. You only get mountly adjustable seats for the driver's side and also the passenger side. Then now the rest of the interior, it is incredibly well laid out and everything is rather ergonomic. However, it is clad in a lot of hard touch plastic. So the dashboard, yes, that's really hard, and even here on the side, but it does feel incredibly durable and it feels like it will last a very long time. They did give you some hints of soft touch materials though, so over here where your armrest would be, here at the center as well, and also here at the dashboard with red stitching as well. The steering wheel, it is leather wrapped and it is that shiny type that Honda uses. It actually is pretty girthy with also that red stitching in the middle, then multi-function. You also get paddle shifters on this one, plus you can also tilt and telescope the steering wheel, which is perfect for finding your driving position. Your instrument cluster is rather basic, red accents, nothing much, tiny screen in the middle, but towards the middle of everything is an 8-inch touchscreen that is incredibly responsive, and it also comes with wired Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, and comes with a reverse camera with 3 different modes. The AC switches, they look very minimalist, but it's kind of odd because I think that this car was really designed for right-hand drive, since the on-off button is on the rightmost part of that AC switch system, and this is only a single climate control. For your cubbies, you have 2 tiny ones here in the middle and a bigger bottle holder on the side. Regular shifter covered in piano black towards the side with an S or the sport mode, an econ button which does delay your throttle response and also kind of lessens your fan speed for the aircon, which is kind of weird. A lot of cubby storages here, USB ports, 12-volt outlet, and of course, a conventional handbrake that is positioned really, really well. For other features in this car, aside from your typical things like ABS, you also get 6 airbags for this RS trim. Here at the back of the City RS, we check the door. Yeah, a little bit better than the front. Now, the back seats of this car, they do feel slightly raised, but you do get adequate thigh support in this one, which is pretty good. Legroom is great, and so is headroom, as long as you don't lean towards the side because your head will hit this sill. Now, for your toys back here, you do get your own 2 air vents at the back, only for the RS and the V variant, and you also get your armrest with 2 cup holders, only for the RS variant. 2 12-volt outlets right there, and just 1 map pocket. You also get a jug holder on the side. And if you want to see 3 people in this car, not exactly. It's not exactly the best, because the center seat, while you do get like headroom, the center seat is really narrow, so your 2 cheeks do kind of spread apart. That's the only problem right here. So it is still best reserved for 2 people at the back. So driving the Honda City RS, this car is still the best in its class when it comes to driving, because this car just has so much power, especially for its category. I mean, yes, it only has like 15, 16, 17 horsepower more than the competition, but that really does add up, especially in this weight class. And the handling of this car is pretty excellent. I mean, this is also the best handling in the category. It's just so composed over corners. Yes, there is a torsion beam at the back, but I think probably because of just how short it is, it doesn't really hop, so it's not jittery over really fast corners. The steering on this one, it already uses an electronic power assisted steering, so yes, you do lose a lot of feedback, but it is still the most direct, especially even if you compare it to its other competitors with hydraulic power assisted steering. One downside of the City though is that since it was built to be like very light, very fuel efficient, they kind of did skimp a little bit on noise insulation, so road noise is very much apparent in this car. Wind noise, not really. There's a little bit, but not as much as the tire noise. Then vibrations, not really, not much really, even if this is only a 1.5 liter engine. Due to the Honda City's more dynamic suspension, way more dynamic than the rest of the competition, it is no surprise that the ride comfort isn't as good as the rest of the competition. Nonetheless, it provides a more than adequate cushioning even on really bad roads, and it wouldn't really be something that will jar you in any way. This is still the best compromise between comfort and sporty driving. As its name would suggest, the Honda City is pretty good inside the city, because over here the steering is incredibly light. It's so easy to maneuver, it's so nimble. You want to make a lot of U-turns in tight streets, and this one, not a problem. It just is so damn easy to drive. And parking this car, of course, is also incredibly easy, because despite this being a sedan and you don't really know where the end of your trunk is, you do have that reverse camera with 3 configurable modes. Put this car into S mode and it really does hold the gears a little bit longer. Then now we can try out the power a little bit more. It also sounds pretty good. Even though it's just a 1.5 liter engine, it sounds like a slightly bigger engine. It sounds as if you have 1.8 to 2 liters under the tap. I can understand why this is one of those go-to cars for a lot of college kids out there, because it simply is so incredibly dynamic. The CVT transmission in this car, it doesn't really rubber band in any way. It is very smooth, and I'd say it functions 60% like a conventional automatic transmission. So yeah, it's it really knows which part of the rev range to always put you in. That way you always have power on tap anytime you want it. Now you kind of take this corner fast and you will just appreciate, and that is an Aventador right in front of me. Okay, can we catch up to an Aventador? No problem, you can easily catch up to an Aventador in this car in EDSA. Even here in the highway, you can easily see where that extra horsepower that the Honda City has is coming from, because just bear your foot down and you can easily overtake and merge with this car. There's really not much hesitation with that CVT transmission. It just really is pretty good. It doesn't have the same VTEC feeling that you would get with the older Honda, so you don't really get like a sudden huge boost of power at around the red line. But this CVT is tuned for a lot more efficiency. Now for fuel economy of the Honda City, another one of its strong suits. I was flooring this car a lot and I was leaving it to idle once in a while, and I still returned 10 kilometers per liter. Take this up over to the highway and you're looking at around 21 to 22 kilometers per liter. Pricing the Honda City in this RS trim is at 1.069 million pesos. It's actually not as expensive as some of its competitors, but it also isn't the cheapest. But you actually do get what you pay for, because this car, it feels very much well built. It feels tried and tested. Even the feeling of it really is tried and tested. And it just provides loads and loads of fun when you are driving this. And it is pretty hard to get another car in its class that drives as well as this. Again, it might not be the most comfortable option out there because of how dynamic it was tuned to be. But despite that, it still is also very fuel efficient, making it a very practical car. Therefore, at its price, I think that this is one of the most bang for your buck subcompact sedans that you can currently get here in the market. And if you're looking for one of those more dynamic and fun driving but still practical car, practical subcompact sedan, then the Honda City RS is one of those cars that you will probably not regret ever buying.